It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hello, and how do you do? Mr. Carl Lemley feels that it would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold the story of Frankenstein, a man of science who sought to create a man after his own image, without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with the two great mysteries of creation, life and death. I think it will thrill you. It may even shock you. It may even horrify you. So, if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've tried to warn you. Hello again, for real this time. If you haven't figured it out, today's topic will be Frankenstein, one of my personal favorite books, one of my personal favorite stories, and one of my favorite films. All three of them, actually. So before we get started, I just want to say hello again, welcome back. I'm glad to have you here. As always, I hope life has been treating you well, or at least as well as it can. So, just kind of getting right into it today. I'm a little pumped and excited as of, forgive me for one moment, as of June 7th, on YouTube Movies, I don't know how long they're going to be there, but the original Frankenstein, the original Dracula, the Wolfman, and the Invisible Man are all free to stream. So I'm a little excited about that, seeing as though these are my favorite film series of all time. Now, Frankenstein's monster, Frankenstein the scientist, originally appeared in 1818 by Mary Shelley in her famous novel Frankenstein, or also known as the modern Prometheus, as the monster was the story's main antagonist. Now, the title itself compares the monster's creator, Victor Frankenstein, to the mythological character of Prometheus, who had created humans out of clay and had given them the fire they needed to thrive. And here, I'm sure we're all familiar, or at least most of us are familiar with the topic at hand here of creating life from death. So, Victor Frankenstein digs up some bodies and tries to reanimate a corpse, giving it new life as he sees fit, in the act of man playing God. To us, we kind of grew up with this story. So I don't necessarily want to say that, like, we're not shocked by it. To us, maybe looking back on these stories, people in this generation may say, oh, like it's a staple. It's a story that's kind of taken for granted, or it's just an old movie, whatever. But mind you, the time that these tales came out, saying it was a controversial topic would be the understatement of the ages. A man, not even necessarily just the subject matter or what you're seeing at hand, Victor Frankenstein digging up bodies and reanimating a corpse like that was going against God. And at that time, in the early 1800s, even up to Universal Pictures film's release, It was a story that defied the norm. It was almost created out of counterculture itself. It was a rebellious story, and it was a rebellious story against the act of God. However, the moral of the story here is that you shouldn't try to play with nature, because nothing seems to go right here for old Victor. Now, there are differences, major differences between the Universal Pictures release, which really brought Frankenstein's monster into the limelight as far as American pop culture goes. But before that, for instance, in the movie, we see that the monster can't really articulate himself. He's almost like a child in his ignorance and innocence. And in the novel, that is not necessarily the case. The monster is a very intelligent being, and definitely becomes torturous. Now, the debate as to whether the monster himself or deserved what happened to them, there's definitely a gray area there, because in the novel itself, the monster pleads with Victor to make him a partner so that he can live in solitude with another one like himself that he can love and cherish. And Victor refuses the offer because he was already appalled at his own actions for doing it in the first place. So there's a gigantic morally gray area there with the creature and with his creator and with the bride that he wants. And now Victor refuses the offer, and the monster, after having pleaded with him and pleading, goes on a murder spree, goes after everyone that Victor holds near and dear. And you see here, that's the thing. Like, you almost sympathize, like in both. It's different in the film, because I feel like in the film itself, the monster is a lot more sympathetic. Like he's created, he can't really think, but you can tell that there's something going on. He does feel, and he's villainized from the second he starts to learn to walk. And showing or developing that he does in fact have a sense of empathy, ironically, happens after the monster, again in the film, meets up, or runs into, rather, a little girl next to a pond, where she innocently takes his hand and walks over to the lake and throws flowers into it, encouraging him to do so. And he takes the flowers, throws it into the lake, and sees that it floats. So he seems to think that perhaps by picking up the little girl and throwing her into the lake, that she will float too and have fun. However, it does not end that way, and the little girl ends up drowning. And he is scared. He doesn't know what to do. He freaks out. He panics. So again, him developing a sense of empathy was also a bittersweet moment, because it is what absolutely led to his downfall by rallying the town against Frankenstein's creation of the monster. And in the novel, in the book, the monster himself, he learns a lot more than just empathy. Not in a very different manner. The monster ends up, I guess the term is staking out. He stakes out a family and learns and mimics what they do. he ends up becoming almost a guardian of this family by getting them supplies, getting them food, and at one point even protects them from debt collectors. They come to hassle the blind elderly man of the family, and he steps in to protect him. And this is after months and months and months and months of observation. He finally gains up the courage to stand in and try to do the right thing and hope that by revealing himself, he will be accepted. However, that is not what happens. The family then shows up to him being in the house, and they scare him off. They chase him away. And that kind of defeats any bit of hope or optimism that the monster had developed. He broke emotionally after that. And that's what really leads to his revenge plot against Victor, which is sad because he didn't know what to do. He was made. He didn't ask for this life. And just by him existing, he is outcast. And he gathers up his vengeance to come after Victor after Victor had denied him a partner to which he could spend his life in solitude with. Now, there is a morally gray area there with Victor as well. I'm going to be saying that a lot because, the entire premise of the film, the story, everything about it, the archetypes, it is a morally gray area. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's a battle of perspectives, wit, and science. And it is, in my opinion, it is the most well-told piece of media in history. As far as books and sci-fi go, again, that is just my opinion. Obviously, that doesn't mean much other than how much I enjoy it. I watch this movie all the time, at least maybe once a month, but especially around Halloween time, because how can you not? The three big ones there, the three movies, there's the original Frankenstein, there is The Bride of Frankenstein, which is incredible, arguably one of the best sequels of all time, and then there is Son of Frankenstein, which is also a tremendous film. So I would recommend going out there and checking them all out if you haven't yet. If you're a fan of older cinema, if you're a fan of classic horror, you can't miss them. I mean, they've been out for a whole lot of time. So clearly they're not going anywhere, so take your time. But if you're a fan of the Halloween season like myself, you're a fan of horror, the genre today would not be what it is without Mary Shelley's ingenious spark of creativity on top of the mastercraft film production of the 30s. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I hope it kind of gives you I hope today kind of gave you a spark of interest in going out and checking these movies out. I will absolutely talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out. As always, thanks for hitting play. I love you so much. I love y'all listening. And to anyone that made it this far in the podcast, you are the real OGs. Take care of yourselves and have a wonderful day. Mwah.